What's up, everybody? This is Fred, your found footage fiend, with our latest review for foundfootagecritic.com, home of the world's largest database of found footage films and reviews. And do not forget to check out povhorror.com, the world's only VOD streaming service 100% dedicated to found footage films. They're available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, Android Mobile, and iOS. So check out povhorror.com for more information. Alrighty, and today we're going to be reviewing a movie that I personally enjoy. I really enjoy these low-budget, self-contained movies, and this one is perfect, in my opinion. It's not like, okay, groundbreaking movie like, Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch, Wreck, all the big ones out there. But for me, this is just a movie that I could put on and just freaking enjoy every single time. It's very chill, very quaint, wholesome, and let's just get into it, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with this movie, it follows the YouTuber Joe Covarrubias. I'm just gonna call him Joe. I'm not gonna be saying his last name every single time. But yeah, it follows Joe and his son Landon, and Joe starts to experience some type of paranormal phenomenon in his house. He wants to eventually end up capturing and figure out what is going on. So he starts recording and documenting this entire process, and that's like essentially the entire movie. It's like almost just, okay, there's a ghost in my house, but it turns into a little bit more because there's a story behind the ghost. It's not just, okay, let me just pick up my camera, things are moving around the house, I'm going to be screaming, I'm going to be running around, not knowing what to do. No, you can tell that this guy actually tried to tell a story. He has a little story in there with a ghost that has a backstory in this little town that he's from. And I personally enjoyed that part the most. It's your basic haunted house type of story, guys recording things and things are happening. But when I say wholesome, it's very wholesome because a lot of it is just him and his kid going around doing their day-to-day routines. It feels very genuine when they're recording. It feels very natural. And I would say this is definitely a more family-oriented film. I think you could definitely watch this with your kids and put it on, and maybe you guys will enjoy it. I don't know if they enjoy found footage, but these are the type of movies that I enjoy, these found footage movies. Now, I saw a Q&A with the director, and he stated that he doesn't consider this film a found footage movie because of the trope of where, somebody records and they die at the very end of the movie and the footage is found and that's what we're watching, which is your typical found footage format. But I feel like things are evolving. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, the footage has to be found. I think people take that a little too literal, if you get what I'm saying. It's just more of a genre in itself, instead of just, okay, it has to be footage found, they have to die at the end. There's a really good movie, Found Footage 3D. That's the one that just does an excellent job on playing on all the tropes. I highly recommend that. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the Unwelcoming house. And I really just enjoy these type of movies. If you've seen movies like, Survive the Hollow Shaws, The Nothing, In a Stranger's House, it's all these movies containing like one or two people at the most, but generally just one person, and we're following them on this journey. I recommend all those three movies, by the way. These movies are slow, not much excitement is happening a lot, but I don't mind that all the time. I don't need fucking a Cloverfield every single time. Also, there's this character in the movie, it's the previous owner of the house. Joe gets in contact with him and he wants to find out more, a little bit backstory in it. But we have this character, Jacob, in the movie. Now, if you've seen this movie, please let me know if you were cracking up at this part. I just thought this was so funny, so comedic. But we have this previous owner, Jacob, and Joe calls him up, hey, what's up? He already emailed him at this point, letting them know he wants to talk. He wants to, just figure out some stuff. And then, Joe calls him up and the guy's just like, yeah, what can I do for you? And Joe's just like, yeah, I figured you would know why I was calling, but... And it's this whole conversation of Joe trying to get information, but there's one point where Joe, interrupts him, and he's like, okay, well, are you going to shut the hell up so I can finish telling you the story? And you look at Joe's just looking at the camera, shaking his head, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And the whole time, the guy is just being a fucking, as Joe puts it, man, that guy was a dick. I don't know, that was probably one of my better parts of the movie. I also really enjoyed just the little scenery and the driving around he does in this little town. That being said, there are some things I did not like about the movie. Okay, so normally I don't knock on music too much. Typically in found footage movies, they don't go well, especially when you're trying to catch that real authentic feel of a found footage movie, that rawness of it. There wouldn't be any any music in it. This has music. That's probably why he says it's not a found footage movie. This is more of a documentary style. And granted, documentaries can put music. I've reviewed mockumentary movies where they had music and it fitted very well. And I feel like it does elevate the scenes a little bit, but it's overly used. Like, it's just way too much. There's also some CGI in the movie that, again, when you watch it, you're just like, it kind of just takes you out for a brief moment. Also, as much as I do enjoy this movie, it's an hour and 20 minutes. And I just feel like it could be trimmed down maybe at 10, 15 minutes. There are just parts, especially towards the end, where it just kind of feels like it's just dragging on just a little too much. But let's get into the ratings. And as you know, we have 6 criteria over here at Found Footage Critic. Reason for filming. I'm going to give this one a 9.0. Now, he did state that he doesn't consider this a found footage movie. It's more of a documentary style movie, in which I can totally get. And it makes perfect sense as to why there is a constant need for him to always be filming. He's either trying to capture evidence or just trying to figure out and research on what's going on. Believable cinematography. I'm going to give this one an 8.0. Now, due to it being a documentary style movie, there's a lot of well set up shots with Joe just talking dead center in the frame, which is fine. You know, it fits well with the narrative which he's trying to tell the story. But other times, and pretty much often throughout the movie, it's just him holding the camera, you know, talking into it, and it just comes out very raw. Found footage purity. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 6.5. That's due to a lot of music, a lot of background sign design, CGI in the movie. There's couple, like 2 times maybe, there's static effects, and I hate to tank it so low, even because he said it's not found footage and it's more of a documentary style, which, yeah, dude, okay, okay, dude, yeah, you're the director, completely, whatever you want to call it. But hey, man, I just call it how I see it. That's all. Just there's a lot of stuff in this movie that just goes against those type of tropes. I know it's not a found footage movie, but it definitely feels like one. There's the background humming sound designs where it's like, something's about to happen. There's CGI in the movie, which is very, I don't know, for me, it just literally took me out of the movie. There are good practical effects, though. He does like a couple things where, you know, he sets up like chairs, you know, things like, he just turns a corner and all these chairs are like on top of the table, which is fine. He does a nice little trick with the water faucet, which is really cool. All right, moving on. Next, we have Believable Acting. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.5. I thought Joe was great. I had like, okay, I will get into it, but for the most part, for like 95% of the movie, I thought Joe did a great job. Fine. Very believable dude. You know, he's in his house. I literally could watch this on YouTube and be like, oh, damn, this dude's probably going through some shit. You know, he came off very natural. Now, there is a scene in the graveyard, like when he goes and visits the graveyard, that feels... what's the best, like, incredibly scripted. Feels very acted. It doesn't come off natural. He runs into somebody, the crazy lady there, and they have like this little conversation. And this is one part of the movie where I just feel like the acting was, I'm not gonna go ahead and say that the acting's fucking horrible, because it's not. But compared to, like, you know, Joe by himself and all that stuff, the part in the graveyard when he's talking with the crazy lady, just the acting fell a little flat there. Next, we have realism and immersion. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.0. It, for the most part, for like the first beginning of the movie and for like the middle of the movie, you're definitely in it. There's parts where the CGI kick in, and that's where I'm like, But for the first like 2 halves of the movie, you're definitely in it. It does feel like it drags on just a little bit. That could potentially kind of take you out of it near the end. And I can definitely see people not liking the ending. I thought it was a good ending. I thought it was a very chill ending, but I can definitely see people like, what? But yeah, with that, you know, for me, yeah, it's just going to be a flat out 7. All right, next we have immersion and realism. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.0. For me, the music got to me. Now, if it wasn't used as much, it's fine. You know, I can totally get it. And I can totally understand what you're trying to go for. You're trying to elevate that scene. But often the music would be a little just too loud, and it would kind of take me out of the moment. As well as like the first, as well as the beginning and like the middle will definitely keep you in it. but near the end, it starts to kind of drag on just a little bit, and I feel like it might have a hard time with people trying to finish it. But other than that, I was in it. I thought the story was great. I thought it was cool just watching this dude reacting. It's almost like a serious version of Bad Ben, if you will, if Nigel had like a kid. and a little less comedic. And last but not least, we have the plot of the movie. I'm going to give this one a 9.0. I thought it was an excellent story. Like I said, he was trying to tell a story. He was legit trying to make a movie, and you can see that. He wasn't just picking up a camera and like, okay, I'm going to just film this, and this is going to move on its own, and then I'm going to add something here. No, this dude's like, okay, I'm being haunted by a ghost, but who is this ghost? And he starts finding out more things about the ghost. The ghost has a fucked up past. He was like an evil person. The town like hanged him, and I'm not going to get too much into the background story, let you watch that, but really, you can tell he was invested in the story, and I thought it showed. I thought it was executed well, averaging everything up to a 7.8. All right, you found footage fiends, that's going to be it for me. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how I'm doing personally. I would love to hear your feedback. Also, huge special thanks and shout out to Vito Marchese, who wrote our opening and closing theme song, Leave This Place With Me, performed by Kayla's Clone. And you can check out Kayla's Clone's website at kaylasclone.com. So, with that being said, happy spookies.